Today is Thursday, August 25th, 2022. It is also day 199 of Blender, and today I'm going to be making a cup kind of like this with geometry nodes. It's going to be a glass cup, and this time I'm going to do a fluid simulation, so I'm going to add like a liquid in there. So let me go to General, go to Geometry Nodes, so go to the top, scroll down, Geometry Nodes, hide the spreadsheet, click on New for a new Geometry Node system, disconnect the input from the output, and then I'll do Add, and then go to Mesh Primitives and add a cone, and just connect that to the output so I could see it, and then I'll just scroll down a bit, and I'll just increase the radius of the top. Okay, not that much. Whoops. Okay, increase the depth, so that kind of increases the height of it, and then just slightly decrease the radius, kind of like that, right? And then change the fill type to none so that, you know, a cup doesn't have like a closed section at the top. So I want to do that, and then that's it. That's literally the shape. Apply that, and then go to layout. Now you might be wondering, that actually makes a hole in the bottom. So how do we fix that? Well, I go into edit mode by pressing on tab, or you could just go to edit mode here. I go to edge select, and then that's going to allow me to select an edge, and so I'll do alt and then select the bottom edge, and then I'll do F, so that makes just a new face from that edge. And now I have it closed at the bottom, which is perfect. So back into object mode by pressing on tab, I'm going to right click and shade smooth, and then I'm going to do shift A, mesh plane, S to scale to kind of add a backdrop. I'm going to go to front view by pressing the button under the escape key and hovering over front, and then I'm going to go back into edit mode, and I should already be in edge select mode, but I'm going to select the back edge, E to extrude the edge, and then Z to extrude it along the Z axis, which is the blue one. And then I'll go back into object mode by pressing tab, and then modifiers, and add a bevel modifier, and that adds a bevel to the edge. If you increase the amounts and if you increase the segments, it acts as a backdrop. So then I apply that, right click, shade smooth, and then X to scale along the X axis, which is the red axis. Alright, and then now I'm going to just save this before it crashes, because it could crash. And I'll just do 8/26/22 dot blind. Oh, it's not the 26. Well, it is, but it's for the 25th. Save Blender file. Alright, I'm gonna go to the rendered preview, and I'm going to turn the render engine to cycles. And now I'm going to go here to the cup, and I'm going to go to material properties, click on new to add a material, and for the surface I'm going to change it to be glass BSDF, and then I'm going to just decrease the roughness of it, and then increase the IQR of it, or decrease it. And then I'm going to go to where is it, render properties, and I'm going to kind of just maybe make this a little bit bigger and look for, no, it's not render properties, hold up, no, it is render properties. I'm going to look for light paths and go to where it says direct light and change that to 4, and then indirect light, change that to 1. And then I'm going to hide this a bit, and I'm going to go back into material preview. So basically what I just did is made it glass, but I want to give it some thickness. So I'll go to modifier and add a solidify modifier, which should be under the generate column, and that's just going to give it some thickness, but I don't want to give it some thickness towards the inside. I want it to be towards the outside. So I'll just change the offset to 1. So now when I increase the thickness, it's going to go towards the outside. So maybe something like this would be good. And then I'm going to apply that, and then I'm going to go back to material preview, and I'll be able to see something like that. Or maybe that's too much. Is that too much? Maybe it is. Let me do Control Z, and then just decrease the thickness a bit. Kind of like this would be good. Alright, I'm going to apply that and then go back to render preview. And then let me just get a color for the backdrop, and I'm thinking this color here. So I'm going to select the backdrop, material properties, which is like the dartboard icon, new, and then change the base color hex, paste that in there, and now I'm seeing my little glass cup here. I do see that it's very not glass, so to fix that I could just, let me see, I could decrease the IQR by like a lot, and that really gives me the visual of glass. Just decrease it a little bit, not too much, like 1.0, something like around 1 point something, like 1.05 is good. I still see some like black, so let me like shift So something like 0.408 is good. Alright, and then let me go to material properties so I can see this a little bit better. Definitely should bring the backdrop down, so I'll do G and then Z and move that down. Alright, and then at this point I'm going to do my quick animation. So I'm going to click on this, go to Object, and then go to Quick Effects, Quick Liquid. And that's going to set up my domain, my effector, and whatnot. So what I'll do is I'll just bring the domain up, like do GZ, just bring it up, and then I'll do Shift A and add like a UV sphere, and then do GZ, bring that there. And I'm going to go to Physics Properties, which is this little icon over here, and I'm going to go and make a fluid and call it my flow, because that's where my flow is going to come from, like the liquid. I'm going to make sure it's liquid and it's geometry. And then I'm going to go here. This should already be, this should be the effector, because it's the thing that's being affected. I'm going to click on Is Planar, and this, the box, is a domain. So basically the liquid is not going to get out of this domain. So that's everything. I should just scroll down and make sure mesh is on, so that basically allows for this to actually be, you know, the flow, that mesh. And then sometimes it's going to like get out. How do I say it? It's gonna seep through the glass. It's just trial and error until like you get it right. So I'm gonna just change the surface thickness to 0.5, and then I'm gonna go to the domain, and that's where you scroll down, and I like to use replay and is resumable, and then Control S before it starts, and then just play it and see what works and what doesn't. So it's kind of working, kind of not. So currently if I go to rendered preview, it's going to look something like this. It doesn't even have a color yet, but I could give it a color. Go to material properties and then change the color of it to be, oh well, I don't see any color now. I wonder. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's already white, I just couldn't see it. Okay, whatever. It's kind of like clear. That's weird. Anyway, back to the thing. So it's kind of very stiff, and that's not what I want. So there's a few ways to fix this, but like the most evident way is to increase the domain. So let me go back to keyframe 0 so I can see the box again, and let me go back to wireframe. And what I'll do is I'll go to physics properties and increase the resolution. Did I say to increase the domain? I meant increase the resolution of the domain to 64, and then it should be like a better like quality, better, you know, resolution. Scroll all the way down and then just modular and then replay in order to play it again, and then play and see the change and see if that works a little bit better. And it might seep through, but see, it does work so much better. That's amazing. Yeah, so just let it run through and wait. Okay, so this is it finished, which is pretty cool. And yeah, that's it. So let me just pause it and go to material properties, or right here, and just look at it this way. Wait a second, and then I can see that happening, which is super, super cool. Yeah, that's it. So if I just want to hide this, I could press on H to hide that. And then if I just bring it towards the beginning, it's just going to start like that. For some reason, it has like a glass BSDF, but I didn't give it a glass BSDF. I gave this a glass BSDF, the cup. Well, it is looking like water, but I don't want it to look. It's looking way too weird. So how about I just go and give it a, which one was it? Just disconnect. Alright, and then, okay, that's the wrong thing. Background, color, well, just white, kind of like a milk. Why did I do purple? I could do red. Oh, you know what I could do? Let me do Control Z, go back to how it was, and then try like a dark red. It looks like wine. I could do right click shade smooth and then smooths out. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, could be something like that. Let me run it again. Control S. And then wait, okay. So it looks something like that. I don't know, do I want to have it that way? Alright, it's kind of gonna look something like this. My question is, why is this in like wireframe mode? Let me try to open it and close it again. What in the world did I do? Alright, so it doesn't really matter. I don't know why the lines are there, but it doesn't really affect anything in the render, so that's fine. I would just go back to the material properties and definitely decrease the IQR of this so it could be less. I don't know why it's like that. Control Z, maybe just the roughness so it could be a little bit more transparent. See if that would work out better. And then this, I would think I would want it to be, I think to just contrast against the background, I would want it to be white. So I'll kind of get rid of this, make it a, just like remove this. How would I, which one was it? Principled BSDF, yes. And then put the glass color so it just looks like milk, the base color and the glass color. And yeah, I think that's it. So then at this point, I'm going to align my camera to the view, which I accidentally already did. And that's just going to the button under the escape key, hovering over front to just get a view. And okay, that's not the view that I wanted. Never mind that. Let me do Control S real quick, and then I'll just do Control Alt Numpad 0. If that doesn't work, go to Edit, Preferences, Input, and then make sure Emulate Numpad is checked on at the top. Okay, so Input, Emulate Numpad. Alright, and if that doesn't work, do Shift A and add a camera, because it probably means you don't have a camera. To get out of this view, press the middle mouse button. To go back into the view, press Numpad 0. Alright, but I'm going to do something like this. Control Alt Numpad off a bit. So I'll render this instead. While that's rendering, I'm going to start maybe on the animation. So I'll go down here, but actually I wouldn't be able to do that until I render all of the images. So that sucks. But I'm just trying to see to what point. Why isn't this moving? Okay, so nothing's moving, that's great. Why is it not moving? Alright, so I decided that maybe I'm just not going to do the animation today. I'll do it tomorrow, or whatever day I want to. But, yeah, it's just going to end up being that render because it's taking 5 hours. Although it's, like, looking pretty good. And it's not taking 5 hours. It's doing pretty good in time. I just don't have the patience to wait for, like, a whole, like, 100 images. Like, doing this, like, again, 100 times. Because that's what I need to do in order to make the video. So I'll do that some other day, but yeah, so I guess I'll do it like step by step. Like first, like I feel like 2 days ago, or 3 days ago, it was 2 days ago, I did the cup, and then now I'm doing the cup with the actual milk inside, and then next I'll do like the actual animation. So I guess it'll just be like a little series or whatever. So yeah, I'll wait for it to finish. Right now it's like 36% done, and it's looking pretty good. Yeah, so you can see really the difference. Between that, you can see the milk. It's very noisy if you zoom in, but it's getting better. And yeah. Alright, and this is the final result.